The other day I wanted to watch the new Lilo and Stitch film on Disney+, but it wasn't there. It looked like it was, but it wasn't. It was a freaking trailer. So I nearly downloaded a pirated version of Lilo and Stitch. And trust me when I say that I do not do that. Surely I'm not the only one. So I did two things. First, I called my colleagues to see whether they had pirated any movies recently. Then I Googled it and look at what I found. According to Muso, a piracy analytics firm, visits to piracy sites exploded from 130 billion in 2020 to 216 billion in 2024. That's almost 7,000 visits per second. And it's a 66% surge that should worry every streaming executive because it's a response from the people. And it says a lot about where some media businesses have gone wrong today. In 2011, people thought Netflix was killing digital piracy. We didn't need to go to sketchy pirating sites to watch movies. We had a better option. Streaming platforms were once piracy's primary solution. So how did they become its biggest driver? And how did piracy sites end up with the same playbook that helps streamers win? To understand how we got here, we need to go back to when Netflix was the hero of the story, not the villain. Look at this old Netflix ad.
Go to Netflix.com, make a list of the movies you want to see, and in about one business day, you'll get 3 DVDs.
While Blockbuster penalizes customers for returning the films late, Netflix said, keep the DVDs for as long as you want. Watch whatever you want, and all for one monthly price. Netflix was filling the gap where Blockbuster was the weakest, and we all know what happened to Blockbuster. At the same time, in the early 2000s, pirating was costing Hollywood billions. Do you remember this ad? It ran from 2004 to around 2008, and it was played everywhere, in cinemas all over the world, and right before you could play your DVD. But the rate of people pirating media continued to grow. In 2008, The Dark Knight became the most pirated film in the world, with 7 million illegal downloads. The internet was making it really easy to watch films illegally. Pirating was getting so popular that even an article from Slate reported, at the height of its popularity, TV Links, a pirated site, ranked 160th in global traffic, near the level of the New York Times. But that same year, Netflix brought some hope for the industry. It went online and it made watching films legally easy. In 2011, the tides began to shift, and Netflix traffic in North America overtook BitTorrent. That's a popular tool for pirating films, and for the first time, a legal paid content service became the largest source of internet traffic. Big time for Netflix. Between 2012 and 2015, Netflix expanded throughout Europe. I was a film student at the time, and I remember being blown away by it. Like, Netflix outright solved watching films for me. During this time, it was when Netflix grew its subscribers and rental subscription members from 33 million to 75 million globally, and it nearly doubled its annual revenue. Around the same time, the founders of a really popular pirating site called the Pirate Bay were arrested. And by then, TV Links had also shut down. But the tides were about to shift yet again. And it would drive leading streamers like Netflix right into the heart of a nasty storm. So let's go back to the 2010s, when the reason why piracy is back really began to unfold. Remember, Netflix is killing it during this time. So Disney shoots its shot. It stops selling titles to Netflix because their money is too good not to build their own streaming platform.
Disney may be the biggest supplier of content to withdraw from Netflix, but it's not the only one.
More and more studios are going to be taking away their content, and Netflix is going to be left to its own devices.
So Netflix deliberately goes into debt to invest $6 billion to add more content to its library. HBO, Amazon Prime, Hulu, they all followed suit. They built out the platforms and their libraries, adopting a similar playbook to Netflix. It was the beginning of what everyone started calling the streaming wars. But in their rush to capture market share, they all forgot what made Netflix a giant back in the day. It was convenient and easy for the viewer, and they were all about to do the exact opposite. And honestly, it's quite a task to follow all the moves in these streaming wars. Disney buys Fox, Discovery merges with Warner, Paramount does something. That's actually why I read our newsletter. We break down these corporate chess moves into plain English. It's basically business news for people who hate business news. Every weekday you get this curated roundup of the most important stories and trends, not just what happened, but why it matters. Plus deep dives on the founders and strategies behind companies, like explaining how we went from Netflix and chill to subscribe to 6 platforms and still find nothing to watch. So if you're enjoying this video so far, I'm pretty confident you're going to enjoy our newsletter. So join the 1.5 million people already reading it and subscribe. Anyways, Back to these streaming platforms making terrible decisions. Remember this tweet from 2017? Love is sharing a password? I mean, that somewhat became the natural way of using a streaming platform, right? You and your family and friends use the same one. Well, in 2022, Netflix lost nearly 1 million subscribers, and to solve it, they went back on their words. Fast forward to 2023.
Starting today, it is no longer possible to share Netflix passwords anymore, but the streamer does have something else up their sleeve, and yes, it will cost you.
Netflix sends this email. Want to share Netflix with someone outside your household? Add them for $7.99 a month. The same Netflix that cost $7.99 in 2012 now costs $18 a month plus $7.99 per extra person. That's not inflation. That's a shakedown. But here's the kicker. In a month, Netflix added 3.5 million subscribers in the US, breaking its own record, gaining globally 5.9 million subscribers. Profits soared. So naturally, every other streamer copied Netflix again. Look at the second column of every streamer. None of them failed at bringing in new subscribers. But while making all these revenue boosting changes, they were also cutting costs in other places, tipping the scales for viewers towards piracy. For a few years now, streamers have been on a rampage of deleting titles from their libraries. Why? Tax benefits. When they delete a show, they can write it off as a financial loss. Plus, they save on licensing fees and residual payments. According to a CNBC source that wanted to stay anonymous, removing shows saves streamers tens of millions of dollars. Remember how I mentioned that visits to piracy sites exploded from 130 million in 2020 to 216 million in 2024? That's not just a jump. That's people voting with their clicks. Streamers did this to themselves. They turned something that was supposed to be a really good solution into a fragmented and expensive mess that's driving viewers right back into piracy. And those revenue numbers that I showed you earlier, they're only just one side of the coin. According to consultancy firm Kearney, this is costing the whole media industry somewhere in the region of $75 billion per year. That's a lot of money. And it affects the quality of the shows that you and I end up watching, and also maybe even the future of shows at all. The US leads the world in piracy. It is the country with the most streaming platforms out of anywhere else in the world. And you need like 6 subscriptions to be able to watch everything that you want. They were the ones that got hooked on Netflix's original promise. Everything in one platform for $8. But that bill has recently ballooned to over $100 for many households. And I mean, that's gonna have consequences. Remember how I said earlier that I polled my coworkers? These are the results. Only 37.5% of them pirated a movie last year. And if they did, it was because they couldn't find the movie they were looking for, even though most of us have access to multiple platforms. This is not just about the money. Today's piracy sites look nothing like the ones from the early 2000s.
Basically, there are new ways of pirating. The pirates are using the services provided by the streaming companies.
Wait, what? How? That's Juan Martinez. He's a VP of Product Management at Vetamatrix, a company that focuses on protection and solutions to piracy.
You basically use the infrastructure of the streaming service, and the only thing that you need to cover is your website. So imagine how easy it is to build a pirate service that looks professional and actually costs a penny. So they get revenue through ads, they get revenue through subscriptions and whatnot, and actually they are using infrastructure from somebody else.
It's actually crazy. This looks legit. I had to Google whether this site was illegal or not. And to find it, I just typed where to stream movies for free. You can stream, no need to download films anymore, no geographic blocks, no subscription juggling. Illegal sites now offer a better user experience than the services that we pay for. When I asked Juan how safe they were, this is what he said.
You don't realize because they look so legit. They will take your information, they may end up putting your credentials or your address, and that goes somewhere else. And when they've been dismantled by the police, they've seen that they are linked to money laundering schemes, to mafia schemes. So it's beyond a bunch of kids trying to set up some website and make some money on the side.
The 66% surge isn't a rebellion. It's a rational response to an irrational market. Remember when I almost pirated Lilo and Stitch? Turns out, I'm not alone. I'm part of a massive shift. A 2024 study broke down pirate viewers into 3 types. The unashamed, they know exactly what they're doing and they don't care. 11% of my colleagues were here. The unaware, people who honestly can't tell the difference between legal and illegal sites anymore. And the unwilling digital pirate. These are people who want to pay. They have the money, they're trying to do the right thing, they just can't find a reasonable way to access what they want. That's me. And that's 75% of my colleagues as well. The evidence is clear. Unlicensed audiences are not a separate entity. They are an extension of the paying audience. They have money and they want to spend it. So what if streamers listened to what people actually wanted? Back in 2011, the co-founder of the world's largest PC gaming platform said, "Piracy is not a pricing issue, it's a service issue." And 14 years later, it couldn't be clearer. With shows spread across multiple platforms, prices going up, and libraries shrinking, it's not surprised that viewers are turning to piracy. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry-wide problem that could be solved by shifting the focus again. The next question is, who's going to do it? Now, if you're curious about more underground businesses that you may not know about, you have to watch Kaya's video about why people are stealing cooking oil. But before you go, subscribe to our newsletter, The Hustle, to never miss what's going on in the world of business, and subscribe to The Hustle YouTube channel for more stories like this.